What do you think about the ice cream? It's pretty good, right?
This is amazing. Raw Nutty Nate made this ice cream for me.
Raw Nutty Nate knows
I don't even know
how
what
to
he
make
put.
an ice cream.
I think he put. What's up, y'all? This is Jakub, aka Kuba from Sustainability Starts Within, and I'm here with Lissa from Raw Food Romance.
Hey, hey! Thanks for having me on your channel. This is awesome.
And I'm very honored to have you on my channel.
No worries, no worries.
We are hanging out here in New York after the Woodstock Fruit Festival 2018, and where we met was at the Canada Fruit Fest just a week before that.
Right. Yeah, so good.
Actually, I just want to apologize. There's some noise outside. They're sawing, and it's kind of annoying. But I'm about to leave, and I really wanted to get an interview with Lissa in before. So we're just gonna work with it and try to talk loud.
Yeah, we'll try to talk really loud.
So I'm just cooling off with some delicious banana and ice cream that Raw Nutty Nate made with some dates and some, I think, almond butter. Maple syrup,
yeah, and a little bit of cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper, just for a little spicy kick. Because it's very hot, and this is like a best cooling food. But I wanted to ask you about the opposite, like in the winter time. What do you do as a raw foodist?
Yeah.
Since you're from Canada, we're both from Canada, and we're both raw foodists, and we keep it up in the winter. So I just wanted to ask you about that. What you do in the winter.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to share that. I find that, so I'm going into my 5th winter as a raw vegan. I've been raw for 4 years, so this will be my 5th winter. And there are a couple things that I've noticed going through all of these winters that help me to stay raw in Canada. The number one thing is to eat enough calories. If you're not eating enough calories, like if you're calorie restricting to lose weight, or you're just naturally not eating enough, your metabolic rate goes down and you don't burn as many calories at a sitting rate. So it's like you're turning down the furnace and you're not burning a lot, so you're not heating up your internal system, and that can make people really cold. And I noticed this when I was eating a lot of cooked food. I was calorie restricting and I was freezing all the time. My hands were cold, my nose was even cold because I wasn't eating enough. Even though I was eating hot foods, it was still not enough for my furnace to burn. My metabolism was just not working properly. The second tip that I would do is, we're talking about the temperature of cold food. Your ice cream is helping you to cool down. In the winter, we tend to crave hot foods, but as a raw vegan, there aren't really a lot of options for hot foods. So we want to try and avoid adding cold foods into our diet. Like ice cream in the winter can make you really cold, like extra cold on top of the temperature. So what I do is I have all of my salad ingredients on my counter. I keep most of like all my tomatoes, my peppers, zucchinis, cucumbers, all of that, and all of my fruit except for maybe berries and grapes. I keep everything on my counter so it's all room temperature. And if it's room temperature, then it's not going to alter your internal temperature, and it's a lot easier to eat a huge salad if it's not straight out of the fridge. So what I recommend, like I said, you keep everything on your counter, except for like maybe lettuce, celery, and carrots. Greens I keep in the fridge, but when I'm gonna make my salad, I'll take the romaine out of the fridge and I'll let it sit in a bowl of warm water with some vinegar or whatever cleaner you want to use to clean your lettuce. And while that's coming in temperature, right, then I'm chopping my cucumbers and tomatoes for the salad, and then I'll do the lettuce last, so that it's not freezing cold.
The cucumbers and tomatoes would have been at room temperature.
Room temperature, yeah. And you don't even have to leave them on the fridge, but or on the counter. But I noticed that I buy food so often that it doesn't have a chance to go bad. And most stuff that you buy at the store, like cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, all of that isn't in the fridge. You know how they have it on like so we don't need to put it in the fridge. And tomatoes kind of change their flavor when you put them in the fridge. Cucumbers get freezing cold. And they're
cucumbers is really cold in the winter.
And it's uncomfortable. And I want to eat cucumbers, but I don't like the cold feeling. So if you keep them on the table, and you can even just take the food out of the fridge maybe at breakfast or lunch, or when you get home from work, and just let it sit and come to room temperature, before you make your salad is a great tip too. But if you can't do that, we kind of tend to crave those old school foods like spaghetti and meatballs, or a lasagna, or a warm soup is a big one. People like the warm soups. I use my Vitamix to warm up sauces. So I'll do like a chunky mushroom marinara, and I'll warm the sauce in the Vitamix, and I use room temperature zucchini noodles, and then I pour the warm sauce on there, and it feels like it's a warm, comforting food. You could also take your bowls and put them in the dehydrator and just warm up the bowl. So you have a nice warm bowl. You can use like a mug and just put hot water in it and just hold it, because it gives you that comforting feeling. Yeah, so those are some tips that you can do. You can use a dehydrator too to warm up your food. Like sometimes I'll marinate mushrooms in like maybe some coconut aminos or lemon juice or whatever, some spices, and I'll throw that in the dehydrator and just let it sit in there for a couple hours, and it warms up. So it's nice to add to the warm sauce, and it's not raw, because you're warming it to about 115 Fahrenheit, and it's just perfect. And it's not too hot and it's not cold, so it's nice and good. But another thing, I mean, it's cold. Like you can't prevent the cold, so you know, you turn up the heat, grab your sweaters, wrap up in blankets, because no amount of warm food, no amount of warm food is gonna change the temperature outside. So we have to think of other ways that we can warm ourselves up. And one of the best things is exercise, right? If you're feeling cold and you're like, oh, maybe it's my food, just get up and do a minute of jumping jacks, or do 100 squats, because I can guarantee you're gonna warm up after doing 100 squats, right? So there's little tips like that. A couple little ones too would be to include spices in your diet. When you're eating more north, we tend to be drawn towards the warming spices. Like in the fall, like Thanksgiving, Christmas time, we like sage and rosemary, all of those spices, cayenne, because they are naturally stimulating the circulation, and that can warm you up as well. Hot baths, like I said, exercise.
Yeah, I love saunas.
Yeah.
In the winter, I always hit up the sauna.
Yeah, saunas. And hot yoga is a good one too. So like there's so many other options that you can do instead of defaulting to cooked food, because that's our natural default, but we can find other ways to do it.
It's totally doable.
Oh yeah, it's totally doable.
In the winter.
Yeah, and we've proven it, so.
So do you think you're gonna stay in the winter climate for?
Well, no. I'm gonna be moving to Oregon to be with Nate, and it's not as cold there. It still snows, but it does not get to like, I mean, we get -40, which is the same Fahrenheit Celsius. So
it's pretty amazing that you survived 4 winters. You said?
Yeah, 4 winters.
40.
I think it's more mindset than anything, because it's like I'm raw and I'm gonna figure out how to do it. Whether I have a craving or not, it's like this, like you said in our video, it's your reality, and that's what it is, and that's the only option. So I make it work. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all that.
Oh, thanks for having me on your channel.
I hope you guys learned from that.
Yeah, I hope you did.
Okay, so where can the people find you?
I'm on YouTube and Facebook as Lissa's Raw Food Romance. You can go find me over there. I'm on Instagram at Raw Food Romance, and I'm also on Snapchat, Lissa Raw Vegan.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Have a safe trip back.
Thank you.
See you next festival, or hopefully sooner.
Like whenever I can. If I come around Oregon and you guys are there.
Please, that would be so awesome.
Okay, thank you so much. Peace out, guys.
Thank you, Fruit On.
Peace and love.
Yes!